Hey guys, what's up? So now that I'm back, I thought it'd be helpful for me to make a video of what I've done as a field artillery officer so far. If you're in or interested in joining the military, I think this information can help you, one, decide if you think I'm someone worth listening to, and two, after knowing my background, it should help you put what I say in context. So no, I'm just gonna be giving you the facts. There's nothing I'm trying to brag about, there's nothing I'm trying to hide. Just wanna give you the facts so you can decide for yourself if you think I'm someone you wanna listen to. Let's get into it. After officer training, Bullock, I got sent to Fort Bragg, North Carolina to a rocket unit. Big difference between rocket units and normal maneuver field artillery units are that rocket units shoot like this and cannon units shoot like this. There's lots of advantages and disadvantages of being sent to a rocket unit versus a cannon unit, but I'll get into that later. So real quick, these are the schools I've had the opportunity to attend. So far, there hasn't been a military school that I've gone to and not passed. And here's a quick list of the positions I've had so far, and I'm gonna go ahead and dig into these ones a little bit. So my first job was as a headquarters platoon leader / battery fire direction officer / operations officer. And this was pretty much right when I showed up to the unit as a brand new second lieutenant, and I was in charge of a 21-person platoon that included the Battery Fire Direction Center, as well as a lot of supporting MOSs like commo, supply, stuff like that. As the operations officer, it also meant that I was in charge of managing and kind of running the training calendar for the battery. So in this position, being brand new second lieutenant, and really not knowing much about rockets at all, because you don't really learn about it at Bullock, I really drank from the fire hose in this position. But I loved it, and I was really fortunate to have some good peers, some good other lieutenants, and I had a really strong platoon sergeant. Next, I was selected to be a HIMARS platoon leader in charge of 19 people and 4 $5 million HIMARS rocket launchers. In this role, you're the main effort. You get a lot of assets that exist to support you, which isn't common field artillery, but that's something I'll get into a bit later. In both platoon leader roles, I had an awesome time working with and for the soldiers and NCOs, and I really learned a lot from them. Being a HIMARS platoon leader probably is and will always be my favorite job that I have had in the Army. Next, I was selected to be pulled up to Brigade to deploy as a Brigade liaison. Doctrinally, this job is usually major or kind of a senior captain is what it ends up being, but because most captains in a rocket unit have little to no tactical experience with rockets, my brigade commander chose to pull up a few lieutenants to fill the liaison roles for the deployment. Again, just like every Army job, this was a huge challenge as I'd never been on a staff before, and all of a sudden I was briefing 1 and 2 star generals every day. So I learned a lot, and it really was an incredible opportunity. Currently my unit's kind of hammering out what everyone's roles are going to be now that we're back from deployment, so that's kind of TBD. But on a personal side, I'm currently deciding between staying in or getting out. For staying in, I'm considering dropping a packet, and for getting out, I'm thinking about either going to business school or going straight into the private sector. Okay, so back to the advantages and disadvantages of being in a rocket unit versus a typical field artillery cannon unit. I think this info will give you a little more background on my experience so that, again, you can decide if you think you should listen to me or not, and so you have context for what I say in the future. Overall, there are far fewer rocket units than cannon units, so even field artillery officers and soldiers are less familiar with rockets than cannons. Also, rocket units don't have fire support officer, which is a big deal because that's an important role. And typically, platoon leaders in rocket units are the platoon leader and the fire direction officer. As a FA officer in a rocket unit, you're exposed to much bigger strategy and planning than the cannon units ever are, because you can reach so much further with your munitions. Also, in some respects, there's more opportunities. For example, in a cannon unit, it is so unlikely that a lieutenant would get pulled up to be a brigade liaison. That's just not something that would happen. Finally, as a rocket platoon leader, you're the main effort way more than cannon platoon leaders are. You know, where cannon platoon leaders are usually directly supporting a maneuver unit, so infantry or armor, that are in the same brigade, rocket units are generally supporting maneuver units that are at a higher level. So what that ends up meaning for a rocket brigade, usually you're the main effort brigade internal, meaning any assets that the brigade has, commo people, supply people, medics, you're the main effort, so you get the first access to all that stuff. And often, because rockets are a strategic level asset because they can shoot so far, you'll get a maneuver unit to actually be your security and kind of escort you from firing point to firing point. So I'm not saying one's better or worse. Cannon units have fire support officers. They have kind of just a more traditional familiar route, where rocket units, they don't have that fire support officer. You're probably not going to stay at a battery for as long, but when you are in charge, you're more of a main effort. So neither are better or worse, it's just different. So there you go. That's the Cliff Notes version of my Army career so far. And remember, the point of this channel is for me to only make videos on things that I've done and done well, and give advice about what I've learned from it, so that you don't have to make the same mistakes and have the same difficulties that I had. So I wanted to give you a little background so you could decide for yourself if I'm worth getting advice from. Also, I just really want to say I was surprised and happy to see all the comments, private messages I got on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube after my last video. It's awesome to hear from you guys. Your messages have given me some really good ideas for videos, and it's motivating to hear that my videos are helping people. So please keep letting me know what you think I'm doing well, not so well. If there's certain topics you want me to make videos about that would be helpful for you, that's the kind of stuff I'm really interested in. And of course, like this video if you liked it so we can reach more people. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook if you want to, and most importantly, subscribe to join me on this journey. Anyways, that's all I've got for today, guys. So until next time, keep killing it.